It happened yesterday. The cold air rushed in here, and soon you're going to want to be curled up in front of the fire. Of course you are, but does your fireplace need a little facelift? Well, Jonathan Kelly is here from Fireplace and Bar-B-Q Center to talk about that. How do we know if our fireplace needs a facelift? How do we know that we should be doing that?
Well, you know, a lot of times the older fireplaces you see over here, people are doing facelifts on them because these may have been installed in 1980, 1990, right. And there could be brass around it, it could be outdated tile or something like that on it. So people want to go in and they start trying to redo the face of it, trying to dress it up. But they may not. They may dress up everything on the outside, but they're not touching anything back behind them. So they're
just thinking of the aesthetics of it.
Just on the front.
But really back here is where the problem.
More important part, right. So that happens a lot. We see people that go in and they just, hey, I just retiled my fireplace. I dressed it up. Well, what'd you do about the fireplace? Oh, I don't know. I didn't really look into that. Uh-oh. Now, if you want to go and address that, you have to take everything back off so you're starting over again.
So if you're going to be thinking that way, think about the whole fireplace at that moment.
Exactly. Fireplaces that are, 20, 30 years old, their shelf life, they're at it right now.
Well, this looks just like what was in our house 30 years ago.
Right. And chimney sweeps will tell me that, these were designed to last about 20 or 30 years. They weren't designed to last forever because they're made out of metal. They're not the brick and mortar ones like they used to be.
Right. So what is this one? Because this one obviously is our step up by a long way right here.
Yeah, so around 2000 or so, builders actually started putting in these. These are called direct vents over here. These are gas only, which is fine. There's not too many people burning wood anymore because of the inconvenience and all that, but that's a completely airtight fireplace. So on the front of this one here, you have a solid piece of glass on the front of it that makes it completely airtight. So whenever you use that fireplace, you're actually sucking air from outside, not from inside your room, at less than 40 cents an hour, but it is really a zone heater.
40 cents. The thing, because at first glance you think, well, how am I going to heat things up? Because clearly, but it really does warm it all up.
Like a radiator, right. Like a radiator, and then there's fans built into it that actually will do the forced air heat side of it. So it's like a radiator and a forced air system all in one.
And we were talking about this before, but with this style, I mean, I remember like my kids would be up close to when we didn't have a fire in it, you could just feel the cold air coming in.
Yeah, these fireplaces here, they were engineered to be drafty. We get a lot of people that come in and say, help me make my fireplace less drafty.
Right.
And we'll ask them, well, is it one of these metal prefabricated boxes? And they say, yeah. You can't. It was engineered. The engineers designed this to be drafty because it's sitting on plywood and 2x4s back behind the wall. It's an air-cooled system. There is no way to stop that and still use the fireplace.
Where this will warm you up without allowing all that cold air to rush in.
Absolutely, yeah. And people will use this. They don't even use their furnace as much. They'll turn that fireplace on and then maybe just circulate the air in their house, but their furnace oftentimes won't fire when that one's on. And on this one here, we were talking earlier, when this one's on, your furnace probably tries to play catch up the whole time that it's actually on. This one is sucking air out of your house, working against your furnace.
Working against you. And before, we're going to run out of time here, but if you do have something beautiful like this, you should still have it inspected and make sure it's working properly before we get into this.
If you're doing wood burning especially, if you have something like that, especially on this type of fireplace more so than that one, but you really need to have that fireplace inspected. And then if you're just burning gas logs, you really need a carbon monoxide detector in that room. I talked to a guy yesterday that said our damper was closed, we were using the fireplace, and then the smoke alarms went off. A carbon monoxide detector would have picked that up sooner than the smoke alarm would, obviously. But you really need to have them inspected and have carbon monoxide detectors in that room.
And you really need to be doing that right now because you're going to be using these more and more as we get into the holidays.
Absolutely.
Everybody's visiting and all that stuff. So Fireplace and Bar-B-Q Center is located. Call them at 913-383-2286, 383-2286. You can also visit them online at fireplacecenterkc.com. Thank you very much. We shed some light on this today, didn't we?
There we go.
It was very, very good.